recording in progress. Okay, so guys, let's get started. And first of all, thanks for being a little patient and helping me out. So there was some office work going on, and I had to join a little late. So last 2, 3 class, we have been discussing confusion matrix, am I right? Okay, so I think it's a right time that we should start with the logistic regression theory. So let me build the agenda for today. So agenda for today is very simple. Logistic regression theory. This should not take more than 20 minutes. And then let's say coding. It should not take more than 30 minutes. So my work is only of 1 hour. And then obviously you guys need to practice. Okay. So prerequisite for today's classes that people remember confusion matrix, at least while doing the coding. If you don't remember it, probably you would be struggling a bit. Okay, so let's start with our logistic regression. So previously we have discussed, so those who have joined online, guys, can they confirm if I am audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes, audible. Sir. Thank you. Who is viral? VIRAL. Who is this person? Go on here. Please put a proper name, okay? Because it may create your attendance issues also. नाम change करो. Viral कौन है? Or viral?
Sir, viral है वो.
So I haven't seen this name previously, so that's why I'm asking. Okay, so logistic regression, it is an example of your supervised learning. Can I have a quick answer? What is supervised learning, please? We have a target variable. I'm talking about supervised. I'm not talking about linear. I'm not talking about logistic either. I'm talking about supervised. What is supervised learning? We have a target variable, another property. अगर target है तो एक चीज होगा. What is another property of supervised learning? किसी ने सही बोला. Repeat it. Sampling should be possible. Yes. Sampling should be possible. If you are not able to do the sampling, or if sampling is somehow you are not able to do, then it is not a supervised learning. Okay. So obviously you should have a target variable and sampling should be possible. That is a supervised learning. See all these algorithms. अभी भी clarity नहीं आ रही तुम लोग को. All these algorithms, whether it is your linear, logistic, decision tree, random forest, etc., etc., they are example of supervised learning. So supervised learning is an umbrella term, and within that umbrella there are so many people or so many algorithms, you can say, right? So when I talk about linear, in linear regression, your y was numeric and continuous. Numeric and continuous hota hai. But in logistic regression, what is the nature of my target variable? Binary. Non-numeric. Yes. No, why non-numeric? In logistic regression, my target variable is binary. Target variable is binary. याद है इतनी confusion matrix binary को तो करा is binary. Either it is 0 or 1. If original target variable is not 0 and 1, we'll convert it to 0 and 1. If it is yes and no, then we'll mark it as 0 and 1. Right. So in logistic regression, your target variable, what are the another name of target variable? Dependent variable, another name, y variable. Yes. आज लगता है लोग थोड़ा पढ़ के आए हैं. ठीक है. So that's good thing. So target variable, another name is your dependent variable, another is your y variable. Okay, fair enough. So in logistic regression, your target variable has to be binary. That is for sure. Okay. And what about x variable? X variable, there is no precondition. X variable can be categorical, can be number, whatever. And obviously we convert everything into our numbers, right? So now let's move towards the logistic regression theory. And I hope people remember one thing, that confusion matrix, which we have invested so much time, more than 10 hours, it is not specific to logistic regression, but it has something to do with your evaluation. It can be used for any model. It can be used for your decision tree also, random forest also, logistic also. It can be used in your neural networks also, anywhere, right? It is for your evaluation. Evaluation as in to judge the performance of the model. Right? Confusion matrix theory is not specific to your logistic. Again and again, I am repeating so that people are not confusing it. Now let's take a step further and enter into the theory of logistic regression. Probability aati hai sabko? Okay. So what is the range of probability? Very simple question. 0 to 1, including 0 to 1, right? So in logistic regression, I'm saying your y can take only two values, either 0 or 1. Either 0 and 1. So, for example, let me say I have a case where I want to either approve or reject the loan. The same example which we will do in coding also, approve or reject the loan. So basically, in logistic regression, what will happen? In logistic regression, your answers, or you can say your prediction, or you can say your output would be in probabilities. Output would be in probabilities. So it will give you two probabilities. Probability for falling in class 0 and probability for falling in class 1. Whichever probability is more, output is for that class. Okay. Consider if the probability for class 0 is 0.2, then probability for class 1 would be 1 minus 0.2, that is your 0.8. Right. So if you know one probability, you also know the another probability. You can subtract it from 1. Right. So again, don't get confused. If 0.5 aayega to kya hoga? Normally it will never be 0.5, but even if it is 0.5, even if it is exactly 0.5, let's say in a very rare scenario, you still mark it under 1. You still mark it under S. Okay. So basically, your logistic regression works on probability of odds. Probability of odds. It works on probability of odds. Okay. So class 0. So probability for class 0, I am denoting it with Q, and probability of class 1, I am denoting with P. So where P plus Q would be equal to 1. This is a convention we are taking. Probability for class 0 is Q. Probability for class 1 is P. P plus Q would be 1. So both the probabilities. So I am seeing one new face. What's your name? You belong to this class? Which class you belong to? But why in this class? तो practice के किसी और class में आना चाहिए, ठीक है? But ठीक है, be seated over here for some time. In the break, change your class, ठीक है? So P plus Q should be equal to 1, right? Again, I am repeating what is Q. Q is probability of falling in class 0. Probability for belonging to class 0. And P is probability for belonging to class 1. So P plus Q would be equal to 1, right? So basically, this type of thing. So probability is equal to 1. So this type of event is known as your exhaustive event. Exhaustive event. What is meaning of exhausting? Exhausting means khatam ho jana. Something is exhausted. So if you add P plus Q, you already get 1, and probability cannot be more than 1. It means there is no other scenario which is possible. Either you approve or you reject. Either you say yes or you say no. Either it is win or loss. Either it is in or out. But there can't be anything in between, right? So it is known as your exhaustive event. So basically we say that probabilities or values of P and Q are between 0 to 1 and they add up to 1. And they add up to 1. ये sentence please note down कर लो. Between 0 and 1 and they add up to 1. And since they add up to 1, it is known as your exhaustive event. They are between 0 and 1 and add up to 1. In probability of odds. In probability of odds. So there are many other probabilities where they will not add up to 1. So those events will not be exhaustive. So values of P and Q are between 0 to 1 and they add up to 1. And that is why it is known as your exhaustive. इतना clear हो रहा है सबको? Values of P and Q are between 0 and 1 and they add up to 1. It means if you add P plus Q, it will become equal to 1. It will neither be less than 1 and it will neither be more than 1. Exactly 1. Okay. Now, let's see one simple curve. दिमाग चल रहा है सबका? कितना चल रहा है? चल ही रहा होगा ना? So let's say P upon ln P upon Q. If I plot this thing, P upon ln P upon Q. So what can I say? Ln P by Q. Will people agree if I write it something like this? P by Q is nothing but ln P upon 1 minus P. Because P plus Q is equal to 1. So Q की जगह 1 minus P. Okay. So in a way, when I'm saying ln P by Q, you can imagine that I'm saying this thing also. So they both are same. Right. Now P is nothing but a probability. So range of probability would be from 0 to 1. Okay. So let's start from an intermediate point. Let's start from 0.5. So if P is 0.5, then what would be the value of ln P upon 1 minus P? So P is nothing but 0.5. 1 minus 0.5 is also 0.5. So this would be ln 1. And ln 1 की value कितनी होती है? 0. Log of 1 is always 0. Base कुछ भी हो. ठीक है ना? So भाई ये 0 आ गया. ठीक है? ठीक है, fair enough. But value of P can also be 0.6 because it is still between 0 to 1. Right? Now let's put it back in the same formula. So it would be ln 0.6 upon 0.4. इसकी वैल्यू कोई निकालेगा? एक काम करते हैं, मैं ना एक शीट let me stop it. Let me open. Let's do one thing. छोड़ो छोड़ो, तुम लोग मत करो, तुम लोग घबरा जाओगे. ठीक है, I'm just opening one notepad. Let me say import numpy as np. So let me say P and Q. Q is equal to 1 minus P. 1 minus P. And then I want to find the value of np dot log. Okay, and then I'll say P by Q. Okay, fair enough. 1 minus P, and let me say P equal to 0.5. Let's do one thing. Let's cut it. Put it here. So it comes out to be 0, right? Now if I change it the value to 0.6, value becomes, कोई एक जन please note करते रहो. So at 0.6 the value is 0.405. At 0.6 the value is 0.405. Note करा? Let's do one thing. Let's change the value to 0.7. It becomes 0.84. I hope people understand this formula, right? When I change it to 0.8, it becomes 1.38. एक सेकेंड, np डॉट लॉग इसका बेस क्या है? इसका बेस पता लगाने के लिए 2.783 से करें तो 1 के आसपास आना चाहिए. ठीक है, बेस e है. So 1.38. Do you notice one thing, that when the value of p is increasing, np dot log is also increasing? Increase कर रहा है. Can value of p be 0.9? Can value of p be 0.9? Answer is yes, because it is still within 0 to 1. Can we increase further? So at 9, it was 0.2197. Value of p can also be 0.99. Then it becomes 4.59. Value of p can also be 0.99. So बढ़ती चली. Can value of p be 0.999? Yes, it can be. So do you notice one thing? And what is the maximum value the p can take? Maximum is 1. Maximum is 1. But at 1, what will happen? At 1, value of p would be 1 and value of q would be 0. And 1 divided by 0 would be infinity. And log of infinity would also be infinity. कितना समझ आ रहा है? So do you notice the value keeps on increasing? So I'll write one statement. I'll say as p approaches 1, ln p by q or ln p1 minus p approaches infinity. Any doubt? Any questions? वो infinity की तरफ जाएगा. Yes. So we started the value of p from 0.5, but value of p can also be less than 0.5. So if I decrease the value of p, what will happen? The values would be same, but the sign would be reversed. So value of p can be 0.4. So now do you notice the values are in minus? So it can be, let's say, 0.3 also. And then the value becomes this much. Then this much. Then this much. See, now do you notice one thing? See, just for comparison, can you notice the values are exactly same? 2.197 is the value, minus 2.197 is the value when p is 0.1. And it was plus 2.197 when p was 0.9. Just opposite, the values in magnitude are same, but the sign is opposite. And similarly, the value of p can also be 0.01. Value of p can also be 0.001. Value of p can also be 0.001, right? So as the p approaches, as p approaches 0, this approaches minus infinity. This approaches minus infinity. And b log p by q. And आज तुम लोग को समझ में आएगा, बियॉन्ड द पॉइंट चीजें स्लो हो जाएंगी. बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट व्हाई थिंग्स स्लो डाउन. कभी देखा है? एक पॉइंट के बाद तुम कितनी मेहनत करो, रिजल्ट नहीं आता, बहुत स्लो रिजल्ट आता है. अभी तुम्हें इस ग्राफ में दिखाई देगा. ठीक है. As p approaches, are people clear with these two lines? at least after showing this calculation. Okay, na? Yeah, so right now let's do one thing. Let's draw the same thing. Same thing where? Same thing on the paint window. Okay. So basically, what we will do is, let's take our x-axis and y-axis. Okay. So this is your origin. This would obviously be 0, 0. Let's draw a line at unit 1. So consider this line is parallel to your x-axis and this is your point 0, 1. So which means on this line which is parallel to your x-axis, if you travel on this line, the value of y will always be 1. Only the x will change. Only x will change. So let's take our p value on a y-axis and ln p upon 1 minus p on our x-axis. So ln p upon 1 minus p can take the values from minus infinity to plus infinity. And when this value, so over here, if you go this side, it is you are moving towards minus infinity. Agar idhar jaoge to plus infinity. And where is the value of p0? When ln p upon 1 minus p is 0.5. 0.5 पे 0 हो रही थी, याद करो, अभी just तो calculate किया. So what will happen? Your graph would be something like this. Your graph would be something like this. Now, if p is less than 0.5, final outcome is 0, else 1. Remember, to build a confusion matrix, you need the outcome in either zeros or 1, right? So if the p value is less than 0.5, so if p is less than 0.5, all this region, this region which I'm shading, this entire region would be, you are marked in for class 0. And region which is above this, let me put it in some different color. Region which is above this, it would be marked under your class 1. Right. This curve is known as your sigmoid curve. सब लोग भी इस कर्व को ड्रॉ करेंगे एंड याद रखेंगे. This curve is known as your sigmoid curve. This is also known as your S curve. This is also known as your squash function. The squash function. पीने वाला squash, पढ़ने वाला squash. Now, sigmoid curve, S curve or the squash function. So now keep one thing in mind. Whenever there is a logistic regression, later on जब तुम लोग थोड़ा सा और expert हो जाओगे, and when we will do a neural network, you will realize what is the major drawback of the logistic and why do people struggle with logistic, or what is, I'll not say people struggle, but why does logistic regression struggles. ठीक है, इस चीज को याद रखो and later on probably you will realize much more. ठीक है, so many people don't know this, but यहाँ पे एक सेकंड अपने दिमाग को थोड़ा सा फोकस करो and try understanding the concept. So I am taking the cutoff as 0.5. On y-axis, you have your probability over, you have ln p upon 1 minus p. So do you notice that in this region, जिसको मैं red में mark कर रहा हूँ, in this region, do you notice the values are changing very fast? Values are changing very fast. It means relation between p and ln p upon 1 minus p is changing, right? But if you talk in this region and this region, do you notice they are somewhat parallel to x-axis? I'm not saying exactly, I'm saying somewhat. So value of p will become exactly 1 at infinity. कहीं दूर जाके infinity तक जाएगी, right? So value of p would be exactly 1 at infinity. So when you change the value of ln p upon 1 minus p, the value of p will change very slowly after a point. एक लिमिट के बाद p would be changing very slowly, and same thing will happen in your this thing also. Yes, वही same चीज वहां पे भी नजर आती है हमें. ठीक है. So do you notice? So if the line is parallel to x-axis, and I'm not saying parallel to x-axis, but somewhat parallel. If line is somewhat parallel to x-axis, it means the x will change very fast, but y will change very slowly. On y-axis, you have probability. So it means probability is changing very slowly. So beyond a point, probability changes very slowly. So you may get a model which is 80% accurate, but changing it from 81 to 82 may be a very difficult task because अब वो model बहुत धीरे train होगा. You may invest huge amount of data, time, you may do lot of changes in your model, but model changes would be very slow. एक point के बाद learning बंद हो जाती है. इसीलिए एक point के बाद मैं भी class बंद कर देता हूँ. Learning अब vanish हो रही है. ठीक है. So I don't want to introduce that technical name. Just सुन लो, जब neural network करेंगे तब वो introduce करेंगे. It is known as your vanishing gradient descent. ठीक है, ये लॉजिस्टिक का एक प्रॉब्लम है. ठीक है, दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम. लेटर ऑन वी विल सी सॉल्यूशन. बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट दीस मॉडल्स आर डिफिकल्ट टू ट्रेन. ठीक है ना. Okay, I think that's it for the theory side. Guys, open your Jupyter notebook. Let's do the code. ओपन किया सबने? ठीक है, अच्छा। मेरी कोई जरूरत है मॉडल बिल्ड करने में? तुम लोग सेल्फ सफिशिएंट हो, बट फिर भी मेरा फर्ज बनता है पहला मॉडल करा दें। हम्म, ये कौन सा बैच है? पीजीए 32। ओके गाइस, any doubt in confusion matrix class, or is it all clear? All clear? ठीक है, क्लियर है तो अच्छी बात है। वैसे भी दिस वीक प्रॉब्ली वी आर मूविंग, आज दिस वीक तुम लोग का बहुत कंटेंट कवर होने वाला है, एंड बाय नेक्स्ट सैटरडे संडे लॉजिस्टिक विल कम, सुपरवाइज विल कम टू इट। Okay. Okay. So let's start with, I'll take two examples. So let's take the first example, which where we can build it very fast. सबके पास credit trust data set है? Please read that file. Let's build a model. So we have been doing a lot of data cleaning and using it heavily, but let's use that for a model. And then, so मेरे पास भी होगा वो कहीं ना कहीं। हाँ, credit trust ठीक है, मिल गया। इधर ही build कर लेते हैं। Okay, cr dot shape, cr dot head. Okay. So what is the first step in any model building? Problem statement. That's a good answer. So problem statement, or you can say requirement gathering. ठीक है? जब ऑफिस में भी काम करना है ना, जब तक ये चीज क्लियर ना हो तब तक कुछ करना ही मत। सीधे बोल देना, भाई प्रॉब्लम बताओ पहले क्या है, अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करो। ठीक है, कोई बुरा नहीं मानेगा। ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट होता है रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग। सो let me give you the problem statement. So let's say the bank wants to build a predictive model so that it can predict the loan status. Let me write a one-liner problem statement, or you can have a detailed also. Bank wants to build a predictive model which it can use for approval or rejection of the loan. ठीक है? Now, so what's the second step? What's the second step in model building? Get the data you already have. Move to the third step, please. Data cleaning or data preparation? Data cleaning or the data preparation. Okay, let's do our data cleaning and data preparation. Okay, so in data cleaning, let's first of all, let me say is null dot sum. Okay, if you already have the data cleaning code, guys, go ahead and use it. I'm not denying it, but I am going to take my own sweet time and I'm going to do the data cleaning in front of you. Just again a revision. So cr dot gender and then cr dot married, cr dot dependents, cr dot self-employed, CR dot loan amount, CR dot loan amount term, CR dot credit history, okay, equal to CR dot okay, fill in A. So in gender, what value should I fill? It is male or female, so it is capital MLE, MLE, married. So married, yes and no. So what do you want to? Let me say married. No, बेचारी की शादी नहीं हुई तो मत कराओ. ठीक है. Dependents dot fill NA. Let me say 0. Self-employed. Fill NA. Self-employed. Let me mark it as yes. Loan amount term. Fill NA. Let's fill it with the mean. Loan amount term dot mean and loan amount term. Credit history dot fill NA. Let's mark it as 0. Fair enough. Things taken care of. Now let's see our dot info. Let me see which all columns are object type. So gender is object type. Let's do one thing. From sklearn dot pre-processing import label encoder LE. Guys are expected to code it fast. Okay? All these things are already covered. So LE dot fit transform CR dot gender. Pardon? You're saying something? You're saying something? Equal to LE dot fit transform CR dot married CR dot dependent and then let comes the education equal to LE dot fit transform CR dot education. Okay, education taken care of. CR dot self-employed equal to LE dot fit transform CR dot self-employed. Then property area CR dot property area is equal to LE dot fit transform CR dot property area. Fair enough, taken care of. CR dot loan status. Let's handle it. Dot value counts. Dot replace. And I'll say Y as 1 and I'll say N as 0. Fair enough. He get taken care of. Then what I'll do, I'll say CR equal to CR dot drop. And which column do I wish to drop? Shall I drop the loan ID column, guys? Yes, it is a unique identifier. We don't need it. Loan ID, access equal to 1. Let's look at our head function. So head seems to be proper, no problem. CR dot is null dot sum. I don't see any null either. and everything is in numbers. So let's go ahead. Do you want me to wait or should I move ahead? Okay, okay, take 2 minutes. Those who want to see my code, see it, though I'm expecting people will do on their own. Data cleaning, sampling, it is expectation that people will do on their own. But still, those who want to see can see. Okay, I think we will have done, right? Yes, so let's do a sampling. So for sampling, I'll say from sklearn dot model selection, import train test spec. So CR train. I hope the last line is clear to everyone. The way I'm doing PSM, doing a sampling, we are happy with it. So CR train, and then I'll say X, CR train, and then I'll say Y equal to train dot ilog. So in ilog, what should I give? All the reports, and I want from 0 colon minus 1. And same thing, I'll say CR train dot ilog, and I'll say colon comma minus 1. Fair enough. Then I'll take CR test X, CR test Y, this dot ilock, and I'll say colon 0 colon -1. Copy this thing, put it over here. Be very careful when you're doing all these things. Test ilock, and you say minus. Okay, fair enough. Model build. Model build as in sampling done, not model. Okay, I think it's high time that we should move towards the model building. Okay, now everyone, guys, just stop whatever coding you are doing or not doing. Just take a pause and focus over here. So how did we build a linear regression? How did we build linear regression? Okay, so for linear regression, what did you do? We imported some function from sklearn. Till sampling, everything is same. There is no deviation. Whether you build linear, logistic, any model. Where we imported something from our sklearn. Okay, fair enough. Then what did you do? We created an object of it. उस function का एक object create किया था. So those who have forgotten, have short-term memory loss, उनके लिए यहाँ पे देखो. So कहाँ गया? So for example, let me do one thing. पहला मॉडल कहाँ पे build किया था? So remember we had imported a linear regression, and then we had created an object for it. Remember? And then what did you do? We ran our fit function. Fit function, what did fit function do? It built your model. It built the model. And while running your fit function, the input was x comma y. X train, y train. पहले x आया, बाद में y आया, right? And then we did a prediction. Is everything clear? These 4 steps would be done whether you are building linear, logistic, or any model. कोई भी model build करो, you need to execute these 4 steps. Only thing is you need to remember what you need to import from sklearn. And importing that is also very simple because it follows a very simple naming convention. So I'll say for linear regression, what did I do? I said from sklearn dot linear model, I said import linear regression. यहाँ पे हम कर देंगे logistic regression. That's it. Please go ahead and run this line. From sklearn dot linear model, import logistic regression, because this time I want to build my logistic. Then what I'll do, I'll say, let me say logistic regression on credit risk. So I'll say logistic regression. That's it. If I have done my data cleaning and sampling properly, then in the next stroke, I should be able to see my model should be built. My model should be built. This, comma, this. I don't get any error. It means model has been built. Model has been built. Yeah. Okay. This is my mistake. This is logistic. अरे क्या हो रहा है? ये feelings नहीं समझ रहा है मेरी, ठीक है ना? अभी ठीक है. So it says logistic regression CR train X CR train Y. Logistic regression model has been built. क्या दे रहा है? अच्छा ठीक है. Total number of operation. ठीक है. So you can ignore this warning. This is just a I'll not say one warning message. It is some output. It is saying LBXS failed to converge. ठीक है, fair enough. Total number of iteration remains huge. ठीक है, fair enough. Then what I can do is I can say predict. So can you notice that this time prediction has been done in 0s and 1? My target variable was in 0 and 1, so prediction is also in 0 and 1. Just let me know किस prediction तक हो गया? Done? Okay. Most of them are done. Okay, I'll just wait. And then we'll create a confusion. Is everyone getting predictions in zeros and ones? सबका zeros and one में आ रहा है prediction? Those who are in there in online, guys, what about them? Are they getting the predictions in zeros and one?
Yes, sir.
कोई प्रॉब्लम? अरे यहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है? कोई इशू? तुम तीनों का? हाँ? Okay. Anyone who is facing any issue जिसको लगता है I should help him out. कोड नहीं आ रहा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम? Any issue? Nothing? Okay. ठीक है. So fair enough. So this is the prediction. If you run your len function, this is just for explanation purpose. You may do, you may not do. So when I run the len on pre-RED, so you can see that there are 197 entries are there. So, and why 197 entries? Because there are 197 records. There in your test data. So for each record or for each entry in your test, there is one prediction. So what is one? One means your loan has been approved. Zero means your loan has been rejected. Internet connection is unstable. Abhi aaya. Online guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So तुम लोग का connect नहीं है? Connect है? So guys, थोड़ी देर बात नहीं करना please. So in my test data, I have 197 people or 197 records. So for each record, you have prediction either 0 or 1. So 1 implies that your loan has been approved and 0 implies your loan has been rejected. So based upon whatever convention you have taken. So over there, remember I have said y as 1 and n as 0. So if you have taken the opposite convention, the meaning will change, right? Since I have taken y as 1 and n as 0. Now, so model has been built, but what's the performance of my model? So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and build my confusion. Cohesion coding mat karna, I'll give you enough time. So how to build my confusion matrix? Remember, to evaluate the model, I have confusion matrix. And then followed by AU, ROC, and all those things will come into the picture. But pehle confusion matrix to build kare. So for building the confusion matrix, there are multiple ways. Whichever ways you want, you can. I can say PD.crosstab. So I'm just telling you a very crude way. Probably you should never use. Probably you will never use it. But if you want, you can use it also. I'm not denying it. So if CR test is my this thing, my actual values will come from over here, comma this. So this is kind of your confusion matrix. So if you look from the top, you will see your predicted values. If you see from left to right, you will see your actual values. Okay. So this is one way. This is one way. And I hope people are familiar with crosstab. We have already used it heavily in our chi-square. Yaad aa raha hai? Chi-square mein use kiya hai. But probably you will never use it because you have some another powerful ways. Another powerful way is nothing but your sklearn. So I'll say from sklearn dot matrix. And now this is the beauty of sklearn. हमें एक मैट्रिक्स चाहिए. So from sklearn dot matrix क्या चाहिए हमें? What do I want to build? I want to build confusion matrix. तो confusion matrix आएगी नहीं आएगी? Import confusion matrix कहीं दिख रहा है? Confusion matrix बस ठीक है खत्म. Now confusion matrix. Let me say I want to build a confusion matrix for my CR data. So confusion matrix. Now this confusion matrix takes two things. It takes your true values and the predicted values. True values means actual values. ठीक है, सो पहले एक्चुअल आ रहा है, बाद में प्रिडिक्टेड। ठीक है, सो पहले एक्चुअल एंड बाद में प्रिडिक्टेड। सो मैंने ये उठाया, यहाँ पे डाल दिया, एंड लेट मी सी टैब अंडरस्कोर सीआर। डू यू गेट द सेम मैट्रिक्स? ऊपर नीचे दोनों की सेम है। सो इफ यू वांट टू यूज क्रॉस टैब, go ahead, use cross tab. If you want to use the inbuilt function of confusion matrix, use that. Now this is where, सब लोग प्लीज अब ध्यान से देखो, this is where you need to be little careful what you have done. ठीक है, so now see the line output at line number 261. Is it same? ध्यान से देखो, अलग है, सेम नहीं है। So this diagonal is same, 23 and 130 same है, but have you noticed 13 and 31 have swapped? So in the above matrix, in this one, from top it is predicted. Yes, ये वो वाली है जो मैंने तुम्हें सिखाई है पिछले 4-5 दिनों में, तुम्हारा ब्रेन अब इससे ट्रेन हो गया। But this one is predicted from left to right, and both of them are correct. Both of them are correct. It is nothing like one of them is wrong. Only thing is your true positive and true negatives, please 2 minute यहाँ पे, true positive, true negatives will remain same, but false positive and false negative will change. Okay, again I am repeating, true negative, true positives will remain same, because true negative, true positives are always on your diagonal, so these will remain same, but false positive and false negative are gonna change. ठीक है, प्रिसीजन, एक्यूरेसी, रिकॉल सब कुछ सेम होगा, बट द वे यू पुट योर फॉल्स नेगेटिव एंड फॉल्स पॉजिटिव विल चेंज। ठीक है, सो बोथ ऑफ देम आर करेक्ट। ऐसा मत सोचना किसी ने दूसरी बनाई है तो गलत बनाई है। ठीक है, तुम्हें अपने दिमाग को इतना ट्रेन करना होगा कि तुम दोनों तरीके से देख सको, लेफ्ट राइट से भी एंड टॉप टू बॉटम भी। बट फॉर स्टार्टिंग टाइम यू डू वन थिंग, you map your mind the way it is designed in your sklearn. In sklearn it is taking your true and predictive, and I have taught you the very same method. ठीक है, तो अगर तुम sklearn को फॉलो कर रहे हो तो तुम्हें अपने दिमाग में कोई चेंज करनी जरूरत। ठीक है, now guys please go ahead and create your confusion matrix, and everyone start putting your confusion matrix on the chat window. I want to see कैसी आ रही है। ओके, सो श्रेयस ने शेयर किया है, श्रेयस प्रणव, ओके फेयर एनफ। Others also please share. Vaishnavi Kadam, okay, seems to be okay. Saurav, okay. Vedant, Kalpesh, okay. Bhupesh. Shraddha Patel, okay. Anyone who is struggling in getting the confusion matrix, right? Prathamesh, okay. Okay. Okay, so fair enough. So people are getting okay. Now, so I have the confusion matrix in front of me. Siddharth Jain, okay. Okay, so I don't see any issue in anyone's confusion matrix. So far, so good. I don't see any issues as such. Now, so I have the confusion matrix. So once you are habitual, just by seeing confusion matrix, I know ये कितना अच्छी है, कितनी बुरी है, right? चार numbers मेरे दिमाग में rough idea दे रहे हैं, right? They're giving me a rough idea. So I can say that accuracy seems to be somewhere around 80% के आसपास accuracy आती दिख रही है. So Shubham Patil, okay, ठीक है, fair enough. So what would be the accuracy over here? Accuracy over here, can I say, would be nothing but 23 plus 130 divided by everything. इसको एक ब्रैकेट में डाल देते हैं so that BODMAS rule is applicable. If you add all these four numbers, तो आंसर कितना आएगा? 197, because there were 197 records in your data. ठीक है ना? So prediction भी 197 पे होगा, but अगर फिर भी चाहो तो ऐड करके देख लो, ठीक है? So but over here I am saying 23 plus 31 plus 13 plus 130. क्या प्रॉब्लम भाई? So around 77%. ठीक है, but I don't want to use all this, so internet connection still. So I don't want to use all this funny ways of calculating accuracy. I'll not say funny way, but so much effort where manual effort is needed. What I'll do is, so what is accuracy, guys? सब लोग please ध्यान से देखो. Can I say accuracy is nothing but 23 plus 130 divided by everything, right? So what is 23 and 130? These are the diagonal elements. जो diagonal के elements है, so I'll say tab CR dot DIAG, diagonal. So do you notice when I said diagonal, it fetches this 23 and 130? Again, I repeat, when I say what is tab CR is the name of your matrix. And when I say diagonal, it fetches your 23 plus 130. 23 plus 130 कितना होता है? 153. 23 plus 130 कितना होता है? 153. So if I say tab CR diagonal and if I say dot sum, do you notice I get 153? If I divide the sum of the diagonal by the total sum, so total, what would be the total sum? Total sum is nothing but tab CR dot sum, 197. So it means if I divide this thing by this thing, and if I multiply it by 100, I will get the accuracy in percentage. Can you notice I get the same 77.64, which you have done in your manual calculation, right? So what you need to do is, don't try to use all these funny ways to find your accuracy. Okay, this was just for explanation purpose. Explanation purpose, you can directly use this line. So divide the sum of diagonal by the sum of your matrix multiplied by 100 and you have your accuracy. And then we will see one more way from your scalar. Normally, I am habitual to this method. तो मैंने तुम्हें वो method बता दिया, but if soon you will get habitual to some another method. आते टाइम के साथ चेंज होंगी और चेंज करते रहना है अपने आप को. लाइफ में आलू की तरह बन जाओ, जैसा चाहे वैसा करो. आज इस पे काम करना, कल उस कोई दिक्कत नहीं. So I'm trying to cover multiple ways. So how much is the accuracy? सबकी accuracy अच्छी आ रही है because I have seen the confusion matrix of everyone. Probably 77, 78 के आसपास या 80 के आसपास. Yeah, probably some might be having 81, 82 also. 88. तुम्हारी confusion matrix वापस पेस्ट करो. आ सकती है if data is, if you have done. Someone is saying, sir, क्या problem है? Okay. ठीक है, that is okay. So 28, 23 and 146. तो इसका 88 आ रहा है. 28 23 का तुमने तो 3 डाला है। ये लॉकी कौन है? 10811 को तुमने जो है कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स बिल्ड कर दिया है ट्रेन डेटा पे इंस्टेड ऑफ टेस्ट डेटा, तभी इतने सारे नंबर्स आ रहे हैं। देखो, you check this line, what have you done? have you built the have you done the prediction on this data? और see, इधर देखो, ध्यान से देखो, the reason can be either you have done your sampling wrong, so in your test y you have still written train, या तो यहां से गलती आ रही है या फिर गलती आ रही है when you are doing the prediction. Fair enough, जिसका ज्यादा भी आ रही है accuracy, no problem. See, if you think your accuracy is too much, you do one thing, you run code from the step sampling. Sampling से एक बार रन कर दो and accuracy वापस कम ज्यादा हो जाएगी। ठीक है, देखो पहले 76 थी, 77 हो गई, because sampling is always random. क्या हुआ, एरर फाइंड नहीं हुआ? ये देखो ना, यहाँ पे ट्रेन डाला हुआ है भाई, ये यहाँ पे टेस्ट डालिए। और नकल के लिए असल चीज में पता है ना, वैसे कॉपी पेस्ट में भी कर सकते हो। ठीक है, okay, any other doubt guys? Your accuracy is only 60%. Okay, okay, you do one thing, you run it from your sampling step, फिर से रन करो, run it, shift enter करो from the sampling step, run from this point, from line number this line, and just keep running. shift पे उंगली रखो, enter press करते जाओ, and tell me, it should not be around 63, थोड़ा ज्यादा होना चाहिए। कुछ गड़बड़ दिखती है अगर बार बार, हाँ तब फिर तुमने कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया। पता चल रहा तुमने यहाँ पे CR लिखा है और यहाँ पे CR क्यों लिखा है? बताओ, है तो जवाब कौन देता है? चेंज करो। ओके, हो गया। अपनी गलतियों को फाइंड करना सीखो, ठीक है, गलती करना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, सबसे आइडेंटिफाई करिए, रिमूव करिए। अच्छा चलो, नाउ वी हैव सीन वन मेथड टू फाइंड आवर एक्यूरेसी, अनदर मेथड इज आई कैन जस्ट स्कोर माय मॉडल। सो लेट मी से देखें क्या क्या चीजें हैं एक्यूरेसी स्कोर। सो इन एक्यूरेसी स्कोर भाई हम क्या करेंगे, आई विल पुट द सेम थिंग, द व्हाट आई हैव पुट इट ओवर देयर, and multiplied by 100. See guys, everyone please have a look at last two lines. So from what I'm doing, I'm saying from sklearn.matrix, import your accuracy score. And the accuracy score takes the same input which your confusion matrix takes. Your actual comma predicted. Multiply it by 100 and you get the answer in percentage. दोनों के आंसर सेम आ रहे हैं because it is using the very same formula. See at line number 281, this is the basic formula. तुम्हारे पास मैट्रिक्स हो ना हो, sklearn हो ना हो, this formula will always है ना. Any inbuilt function is also invoking the very same formula. Okay, now only that person will answer जिससे मैं question पूछूंगा. I'm going to ask one simple question. Simple question. ठीक है, you tell me. If this is my confusion matrix, then what is the precision in this? What would be the precision in this? You only need to tell me numerator का value क्या होगा and denominator का. I don't want answer in decimals. I just want to understand your concept. So if this is your confusion matrix, which I have highlighted, then what would be your precision? कितना टाइम? जल्दी बताइए प्लीज. What would be the precision? Okay, what is 23? 23 is 2 negative, 2 positive, false negative, false positive. एक सेकंड, जिससे पूछा सिर्फ वही बताएगा. तुम लोग से भी पूछेंगे. तुमको ये नहीं पता है what is 2 negative, what is 2 positive? पता तो बताओ फिर. Okay, and then what is 31? (31) is also true positive and 23 is also true positive. And 31? यही सीखा है मैंने इतने दिनों में. सुन लिया ना? ठीक है, रिवाइज करके नहीं आए. एटलीस्ट 31 को फॉल्स तो बोल देते. ट्रू बोलते हुए तुम्हें अजीब सा नहीं लगा कि हाय भगवान ये मैंने क्या कर दिया? वैसी फीलिंग आनी चाहिए थी. 31 एंड 14 को भी अगर कोई ट्रू बोल रहा है तो मेरे 2 घंटे बेकार चले गए. ठीक है, पढ़ाने के. ठीक है, अब आगे क्या पूछे हम? और क्वेश्चन बताओ भाई, जिसका मन है वही बताओ. ठीक है, व्हाट वुड बी द प्रिसीजन ओवर हियर गाइस? बताओ. सो प्रिसीजन फॉर्मूला इज ट्रू पॉजिटिव प्लस फॉल्स पॉजिटिव. ये फॉर्मूला है. सो 129 इज योर ट्रू पॉजिटिव. ठीक है, सो लेट्स से 129 divided by 129. Now the only question is कि भाई ये false positive कौन सा है? So remember, whether it is positive or negative, the final answer is decided based upon your prediction. बार बार बोला ना मैंने कि तुमने एक मर्डर कर दिया, कोर्ट ने तुम्हें छोड़ दिया तो तुम नॉन गिल्टी माने जाओगे. ठीक है, कितने सिंपल से एग्जांपल लिखा. So if you look from the top, you see your predicted value, right? So this column is of your 0. This second column is of your 1, right? So what is this 31? False positive, because if you see from this thing, so ये ऊपर से class 1 में आएगा, right? So false positive की value कितनी हो जाएगी? 31. Now let's see the answer. Precision value is 80.625. Let's do one thing. Let's see, have it done the same calculation, have it done it right. Let's see, import our precision. Precision कहीं दिख रहा है? अरे नो कैसे भाई दिखेगा? ऐसा मत करो. And I think precision will also take the, and you go back home and study. अगर आपको ये नहीं पता है what is true and what is false, you are not fit for this class. ठीक है? Precision score is the same thing. Can you notice? It will also take the same input as your confusion matrix. Okay. So if you understand the confusion matrix, you can do your manual calculation. Otherwise, software तो है ही है तुम्हें dumb बनाने के लिए. Okay. Okay, तुम बताओ. If this is the confusion matrix, then what would be the recall over here? सिर्फ numbers बताओ. Numerator में क्या आएगा? Denominator में. I don't want the exact answer. I just want to see your concept. Recall, yes. TPR, yes. Okay, fair enough. सही है इसका आंसर? Yes, fair enough. So good one. So the recall, another name of recall is nothing but your TPR. Okay. And the formula for TPR is true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. True positive. So according to us, the true positive is 129. 129 divided by 129 plus false negative कितना हो जाएगा? 13? 14, yes. So it would be 129 divided by 129 plus 14. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's find our recall also. Import by recall. Recall score. Recall score में डाल देते हैं. Let's say recall score again will take the same input which your confusion matrix takes. डाल दीजिए. You get the same value. So it means जो हमने पढ़ा समझा वो सही है. SKLN is also confirmed here. Okay. ओके, तुम बताओ लास्ट पर्सन, व्हाट इज F1 रेशियो? Where P is precision and R is recall. That's a good one. So where P is precision and R is recall. So good one. So I already have the value of precision and I already have the value of recall. So what is the precision score? Precision score is this much. And your recall score is this much. I think I missed the point. 2 into precision into recall divided by precision plus recall. इसको कॉपी कर लेते हैं, यहाँ डाल देते हैं. कौन था? So it is 0.85, right? It is just for example that if you want to find it manually, you can find it manually also. But तुम सब लोग smart लोग हो, क्यों manual find करना? ठीक है ना? So let's import our F1 score, and this F1 score will also take the value. It will take the same input which your confusion matrix and all those things are taking, and it will do the internal calculation and give you the value. Do you notice the same answer? Same answer दिखता है. So if you apply your formula manually or if you use your inbuilt function in SQL. So I have told you both the ways. जो सभी तुम्हें अच्छा लगे. So accuracy, precision, recall, F1. मॉडल अच्छा जाता हुआ दिख रहा है. सिर्फ एक प्रॉब्लम है मॉडल में, FPR का प्रॉब्लम दिखता है. In terms of FPR, model is failing. It is still okay. Okay, see, so do till this point and then take your break. After break, let's see our AUROC curve. Okay, let's see our AUROC curve. ठीक है, कितनी देर का ब्रेक चाहिए? So it's 11:30. Let's meet at 12. Let's meet at 12 noon. And half an hour break ले लो. So I'll start by 12 and we will see our AUROC curve and then I'll give you few assignments. अगर मैं AUROC कर्व पहले ले लूंगा तो कुछ लोग क्लास में वापस नहीं आएंगे, इसलिए होल्ड पर डाल दूंगा. ठीक है, ताकि ब्रेक के बाद लोग आ जाए. ठीक है, ठीक है. Then probably you have so many data sets, start practicing. ठीक है ना? ठीक है guys, so let's take a break. So let's get started. Okay. So guys, am I audible? Those who have joined online. Audible home you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so what we have done is we have built our F1 score, build a confusion matrix. Now let's try to find our AU ROC and build the plot for AU ROC. Okay, what is AU ROC? Can I have one answer, please? Area under the curve. Okay, and what is there on the x-axis? FPR. Okay, and on y-axis? क्या बात है, तुमने याद कर लिया? हाँ? तुम तो ऐसा नहीं थे. Okay. Let's import two things, ROC, and then I can say ROC curve. ROC AUC score. Okay, so before we build our ROC AUC score or ROC curve, let's do one thing. So, okay, guys, अब सब लोग please ध्यान से यहाँ पे देखो. So when I do the prediction, I get the prediction in zeros and one. Am I right? I get the prediction in zeros and one. But there is another way of prediction, which is something like this. So I'll say predict underscore PRO PA, proba. Proba means probability. Sab log please ye line run karo. Run this line and check this thing. Bas 10 more minutes and then I'll end the session. Predict underscore PROB. सबको ऐसा आंसर आता है? The numbers might be different, but the field would be same. Do you get two columns? Yeah. किस-किसका आ गया? हाँ तो आप please. सबका आ रहा है? Okay. Now, over here, can you notice? Acha, first of all, again, everyone stop whatever they are doing. First, focus over here. So if I run the type function over here, you will notice that it's an array. It's an array. अगर ये array है तो इसका कुछ shape भी होगा, right? So do you notice the shape is still 197? Why 197? Because there were 197 records on my test data. Test data में 197 records. ठीक है? Now, predict probability dot shape. Now, so it means this thing, it is giving probabilities in 0 and 1 for each record. Each record you get two values. What is the probability of falling in class 0? What is the probability of falling in class 1? Remember P and Q yaad aa raha hai? So if we add P and Q, then what is answer? 1. Answer is 1. So for example, the first person, what is the probability? You are getting two probabilities. The first probability is for your class 0. The second probability is for your class 1. Again, I repeat, पहला number 0 के लिए है, second number is for 1. So if I add these two numbers, will my answer be 1? Yeah. Answer is 1. P plus Q equal to 1. So for this person, that is your first person, he should finally belong to which class? Should he belong to class 0 or should he belong to class 1? He should belong to class 1. Why? Because probability for class 1 is more. Right? And if you see this thing, do you notice that the first person belongs to class 1? Now, for the second person also, again, if you see, or let me say some record from the end. Record from the end. So this is your fourth last record. Ye fourth last record hai. And again, if I add them, answer is again 1. But for this person, the final output should be class 0. Finally, it should belong to class 0 because probability for class 0 is more. And if you check the fourth person from the end, do you notice uska 0 mein prediction? So basically what I want to say is probabilities pehle aaye the, classes baad mein aaye the. So based upon the probabilities, classes were decided. So out of these two columns, the left column is for your class 0 and the rightmost column is for your class 1. इतना सबको समझ में आया? And if you add any two numbers, answer would always be 1. चाहे तो करके देख लो. अगर 1 से ज्यादा या 1 से कम आ जाए तो दुनिया हिलने लगेगी. ठीक है? Keep in one thing in mind. Take consideration of round off. ठीक है ना? So sometimes after round off, it may be slightly more than 0, right? Or slightly less than 1. It may be 0.9999 something, or it may be 1.000 something. But I hope this thing also removes the doubt that if the probability is exactly 0.5, the calculation is so many digits beyond your decimal. So getting exactly 0.5 is in a way ruled out, or exactly any number is always ruled out. इतना सही है, सबको समझ में आया? Now I will use the same logic for building my AUROC का plot. Take 2 minutes and everyone do till line number 300. This is the area under the curve. So for area under the curve, what I've done, I have done ROC AUC score. And this score is also taking the same input which you are taking in your confusion matrix. दिखता है? So area under the curve. This is your area under the curve value. I hope people remember AUROC graph. Remember, the graph is something like this. So this is your FPR, this is your TPR, this is your 1, this is your 1. Whatever may be the graph, it would be within this box. And normally your graph would be something like this, right? So area under the curve would be your this red section, this red part, right? So what is the value I am getting? I am getting the value as 0.6604. So if you are only interested under the area, your job is done. तुम्हारा काम खत्म हो जाता है. But अगर graph plot करना है तो 2 line का code follow. ठीक है? So many a times we are only interested in area under the curve. So your job is done. But if you want to see the curve, then we have to write 2-3 more lines. ठीक है, सबको यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Let me know once everyone has got this thing. So area की वैल्यू कितनी आ रही है? इतनी बढ़िया एरिया वैल्यू आ रही है, ठीक है, fair enough. 0.78. ओके, डन. किस किस का हो गया यहाँ पे? आता खा लो प्लीज, सबका हो गया? मैं फालतू में वेट कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा ठीक है. अच्छा, अब सब लोग वापस एक सेकंड अपनी कोडिंग को स्टॉप करो एंड सी दिस लाइन. So what does this last line does? It does your prediction in probabilities. For each record you get two values. The first column would be for your class 0. The second column would be for your class 1. ठीक है ना? So हम ये देख भी सकते हैं probabilities, and I have shown you the shape also. Now let me say predict probability. So कुछ ऐसा आ रहा है, right? Now if I have to select only the second column, the second column indicates your p value, the first column indicates your q value. So convention is probability for class 0 is named as your q, probability for class 1 is named as your p. ठीक है ना? Remember ln p upon 1 minus p करते थे लोग, right? So if I want to select only the select column, second column, will people agree कि अगर मैं कुछ ऐसा कर दूं colon 1, देख रहे हो? So can you notice 0.0966, 0.0966. The second value is 0.86238. Can you notice the same value appearing over here? Right? So if I say predict probability, colon means it will select all the rows and 1 means it will select the second column. So can I say that this selects the probability for class 1? ये line लिख लो please, so that later on when you are seeing your code you should not get confused. और अगर किसी को confusion है तो please let me know. This selects your probability for class 1. So basically I am selecting the second column. Okay, so line number again, guys. एक second वापस सब लोग ध्यान से देखो. Line, this line is only for explanation purpose. I am commenting it out. ये सिर्फ explanation purpose के लिए थी. I am commenting it out. Okay, I am not much interested in this line. I am interested in ROC curve. Now let's get the ROC curve. Okay, ROC curve. What does ROC curve takes? In ROC curve, do you notice it says it takes the y true value and y score value. So what is the y true value? Y true value is nothing but your CR test y. बराबर? And what is your score value? The score value is nothing but ये वाला. और सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Now what does it returns? अभी कोई रन नहीं करेगा. रन करोगे तो प्रॉब्लम में आ जाओगे. What does it returns? It returns your this thing. It returns your FPR, TPR, and threshold. अच्छा, remember your chi-square test, ANOVA test? It used to return more than one value. याद आ रहा है? And then we used to store it in a variable. So it will return three things. I will say A, comma B, comma C. ठीक है? Purposefully A, comma B, comma C लिया है. Now, what will this A, comma B, comma C would be? The A would be mapped to your FPR. B would be mapped to your TPR and C would be mapped to your threshold. So instead of saying ABC, सीधे FPR TPR ही ले लेते हैं, right? You can take any variable, but let's take a logical variable. ठीक है, threshold is like your logic value, और just say thresh, ठीक है ना? सिर्फ देखते जाओ. So FPR TPR score हो गया, right? For different probability values, it is finding your FPR and TPR, right? So if I have FPR and TPR, then what I can do? You have done PhD in your matplotlib, so I'll say from matplotlib.pyplot, or I'll say not from, but let me say import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. You already know how to do your x, y plot. So on PLT.plot, x axis पे क्या आना चाहिए? FPR, तो पहले FPR देते थे because you have x, y, and TPR. आ गया AUROC plot. ठीक है? And then what I'll do, I'll give some naming convention. इसमें area under the value बहुत सारी चीजें डाल देंगे. सबको इतना समझ में आया? Now guys, please go ahead and build it. FPR, TPR, or whatever and whatever. बस मेरा काम खत्म होने वाला है. मेरा, तुम लोग का नहीं. डन. सो जल्दी से अपने ग्राफ को, यहां पे क्या वैल्यू डाली है? जो वैल्यू यहां पे डाली वही डालो. किस किस का ग्राफ आ गया? आ गया. ओके, इसके में क्या इशू आ रहा है? अब इस ग्राफ को ब्यूटीफुल कर दो. plt.x लेबल डाल दो. x लेवल पर डाल दो FPR, plt.y लेवल पर डाल दो TPR. इन सब में तो तुम लोग को मास्टरी चाहिए. टाइटल डाल दो plt.title and say AUROC on credit risk data. ठीक है. So if you want, you can change the color equal to red, तो line red रंग की आ जाएगी. If you want, you can add a grid, plt.grid. अब ग्राफ दिखने में अच्छा लग रहा है. So from this graph I can get to know the idea कि FPR TPR कैसा जा रहा है. But let me say I want to show the value of AUROC, so I can say plt.text. plt.text ऑप्शन हमने यूज किया है ना पहले मैटप्लॉटलिब में. Yes, right. So x equal to 0.5 and let me say y equal to 0.5 AUROC is whatever is your value. So in my case, what was the value? In my case, the value was 0.664. So I'll just pass it 0.664. If you want, you can make it dynamic also. AUROC is. और क्या प्रॉब्लम है? AUROC is 0.6640. अब ये कस्टमर को दिखाने लायक हो गया. सब लोग प्लॉट करो प्लीज. Okay, so AUROC is 0.6640. Okay, guys, so I think this is from my side for today. अब तुम लोग कौन से डेटा सेट पे प्रैक्टिस करोगे बताओ. तुम लोग के पास एक churn का डेटा सेट है, राइट? Churn डेटा सेट है ना? So practice on your churn. On your churn data set, what would be your target variable? Churn करके खुद एक कॉलम है, right? So build the model on your churn data set. Churn data set. Is there any other data set जो मैंने दिया है? Adult KNN. चलो ठीक है, तुम टाइटैनिक का इतना फैन हो. टाइटैनिक में टारगेट वेरिएबल क्या है? Survive. So build your model on your churn and on your Titanic. ठीक है? So survived is your target variable on your Titanic, and I think in churn the target variable itself is churn only, right? Right. So build the model, logistic regression model. Do your data cleaning, sampling. Data cleaning, sampling में तो कोई problem है ही नहीं, right? Data cleaning, sampling. Do the fit the model. Do the prediction. ठीक है? So one expectation is, guys, जब हम लोग कल सुबह मिलेंगे, I want everyone to have worked on these two data sets. या तो दोनों पे करना या किसी पे कुछ मत करना, ठीक है? मुझे ये नहीं सुनना है कि थोड़ा किया नहीं किया. या तो दोनों पे पूरा end to end till AROC करना या फिर बिल्कुल नहीं करना, ठीक है? Take a choice. And why I am giving you this choice? Because you have studied logistic regression. Either yes or no. या तो दोनों किया है तो यस होगा, अदरवाइज वो नो में मार्क कर दिया जाएगा। तो कोई एफर्ट डालना ही मत, अगर लगता है नहीं होगा तो बिल्कुल मत डालना, ठीक है। ठीक है, सो ठीक है गाइस, सो विद दिस आई एंड द सेशन। थैंक यू फॉर अब जरा मैं